Creating content can be a struggle. Organizing content, coming up with content ideas, all of these things are very challenging, especially to be able to be consistent as a creator. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a behind the scenes curtain, pulling back the curtain so that you could see my content machine that has allowed me to create, automate, and monetize over thousands of pieces of content that I've been using over the last several years over a variety of different brands in my businesses. And our business has done over multiple six figures in using some of this content and these messages. So I'm going to share with you how you can create a content machine that will lay a foundation for an automation. I'm building out some automations in this year. My word of the year is simplify, and I've been learning how to automate and simplify these systems that will be able to churn out content consistently. But my goal in this masterclass is to build a content hub from scratch to allow you to be able to follow along so that you can build it also in this video. And in order to do that, I thought who better to bring on than Catharina to join us today. Hi, Catharina.
Hey, how are you?
So I'm doing great. Glad to have you on today. Catharina is a health educator, and she does work in churches and podcasts, and there's content that she wants to be able to organize. So that's what we're going to be building her content calendar and I'm going to show you step by step as we actually build out her system. Sound good?
That sounds great.
So what we have here is just to show you an example first. This is really where I will highlight my mouse so you could see it better. But I've got over 2,000 pieces of content here that is being tracked. Every piece of content has a separate page, and I'll show you how you can do this. And I've been able to do this to manage multiple brands and multiple platforms. So Enoch Leffingwell, my brand, has 12 different social media platforms that we post on, from Facebook groups to LinkedIn, even our premium courses that my clients pay me over $10,000 to get access to, and then YouTube videos, Facebook ads, emails, consistent email marketing. All of it is managed through this content hub that I'm going to be showing you. And I've also been able to use it for our health brand with ISA Health, for Simplify AI with Enoch, which is the YouTube video that we're creating right now, and Army of Youth, which is a ministry that we help young people find their unique calling, and then Walks with God Ministries, which is something that I've had for several years also, where I post sermons and Bible studies and different posts on there. So you can track all of these in your content. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a page. And on this page, we're going to call it Master Content Pages. And the first one we will create is a video content calendar. So let's open that up. And what I would do is I'm going to first change this title to Master Content Calendar Database. And on this database, this is where you're going to have all of your content located. The first title that we're going to create is Naming Convention. We want to call this Naming Convention because in order to organize whatever content you have, you want to be able to find a way that you can consistently name it by platform and by the type of page that you have. And in building this out, there's going to be a few databases linked together that we will use. But another one that we're looking at that is important is, and I think this priority, we're actually going to change this priority status, or this checkbox, we're going to actually turn it into a select property. And we're going to do this by changing the type, and we're going to choose select. This will give us different opportunities here to label what kind of priority we want to give this. And the priorities that I found to be quite helpful is right here, where we have number one thing, and that's ASAP. Like, let's do this now. And I'm going to click these three dots over here, and you could choose a color. Choose red. Now we can go to high.
Because red means right now.
Yes, red is urgent, very important. And high, I'm just going to make this yellow. And the thing about many of these properties is the more you can make them identical, they will help the automations to run more smoothly. And the more that they match, then when you're using the innate-in templates that I give you, the workflows, then they will work much better. So currently there's some that say yes.
Match even the colors?
No, the colors don't matter. Colors for the
Okay.
select. You can make these colors whatever you want. What matters mostly is the name of the property. So we have that. And then the next one for those watching is you want to create one called recording dates, and that's called the date property. This is great for keeping track of when you're going to record, when it's scheduled to record, what that looks like. That's very helpful in that regard. Another one is your compelling headline. What I find is really helpful with this is I would change it. The reason why the old version had 55 to 60 characters is because that's what YouTube really likes. But I'm just going to call this hook one. Hook one, compelling headline. This is going to be the title of your YouTube videos or the title of your Facebook live streams or whatever video that you're going to do, your blog article. This is the primary headline that you're going to use. And that's how we use hook. If there's another hook that's visual, like on YouTube, oftentimes you want to have the video title different than the thumbnail title. We would use hook 2 for something like that, and which we could probably create here, which is going to be a text property, and you select hook 2. So we want to make sure that this is as a text property, which it is, and then we have this character count, which is really nice because as you start typing, another thing that I've done is I used to put it in the title, but now YouTube actually gives you these Notion gives you this cool add property description, so you can actually describe what each property is for, which makes it convenient. And I just put little reminders of what is the ideal title length. According to Daryl Eves, in his $12,000 YouTube coaching program, he recommends 55 to 60 characters for a YouTube title. So that's when you hover over it, it creates a little information eye here, and now you can remind yourself what it's there for.
Oh, cool.
So that's pretty convenient. And before I used to have to go to like word counter online, and then once I find like wordcounter.net, then I could start typing in a video title here, and then you could see how many characters it is, 16. But I realized I could replace tools like this simply by adding this character count property right here that actually counts. What I do is I call this I actually call this the hook 1 counter, because I realize that sometimes we want to count other things like hook 2 or other counters. So I just found that whenever you create this, it allows you to count, and as you type, then the numbers go up, as you could see. So that's really convenient. And the way you do that is when you add a property, you got to make sure that it's a formula. And when that's a formula, I had ChatGPT write this for me. It was pretty simple. All you got to do is type in length, and I could delete it and show you how it works. But when it's blank, you start typing in length, and you could see it like pops up right here. You could just click that, and then it's asking you to put a property in the middle of this. It's actually asking what is the length in characters of whatever you're going to put in here. So then it gives you options of characters you put here. So we're going to select hook 1. These are all the properties that you have on this database. So by choosing...
Oh, that's neat. So you can choose one, and then it'll just count the characters for that one.
Exactly. Isn't that really neat?
That is really neat. That's cool.
So you could always create any of these that you want. So now by typing, we could see this is 6 characters. And let's say you wanted to create another one for hook 2, which I don't think you need right now, but let's say you did, you could just duplicate this property and we would change it from hook counter 1 to hook counter 2, and then what we would do is click inside, and where this says hook 1, we're going to delete that, and we're looking for hook 2 down below. We've got to make sure we're inside the parentheses here, and we've got hook 2, and then boom, there we go. As we type, hook 2 is counted. Does that make sense?
That's so neat. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so there are some use cases where you'll find that helpful. I'm just going to hide this for now because we don't really need that per se. One thing I will say about the status, I see that you have a status property. This is one of the most important properties in the whole database, really. This is what keeps track of everything with our team to know where it belongs and where it goes. One thing I've found with the status property is that when automating on N8N, N8N doesn't like status properties very much. It can't handle it. So I found by changing this to a select property, then the automation can handle it just fine. And also, I have since learned to get rid of these numbers because they are not always, they're not always the same numbers, and they're not always in the same order. And what I've done is I've strove to use these to represent different things depending on what type of content format it is, but it really helps us to keep track. Like for Reels, for creating short video clips, or like TikTok shorts, or maybe microblogs for Facebook or Instagram, or quote cards for Instagram, or YouTube videos. They mean slightly different things, but I've been able to use a variation of each of these in some way or another. So like for instance, we have brainstorming and sloppy list. This is where I call it research and sloppy list. Sloppy list is just putting down whatever ideas come to mind, and then sometimes when we have sloppy list basic outline, what we want to do is we want to finalize this outline and finalize the words. That includes the hook, the title, just things that are further along the journey. And we could actually change this to, we probably don't need this. We could probably delete that. And then also what we have on yours, number 5, says slide designing. But I've also have come to realize that not all of the creating is actually a slide. So now I put editing / designing. This includes any time that you're editing a video editing for like Reels, or designing slides, or designing like thumbnails, or designing any type of design that still is required. That's what this is for. Okay. And if you have any questions through the process, that's totally fine to ask them as well.
So the editing and designing one, is that for just like after you record the video?
It could be before.
No, that would be for before. Sorry.
It could be both. The reason why I took out these numbers is because they're no longer in like a sequential order. It's really just any time that you're editing. Sometimes you can edit the slides before the video. Sometimes you're editing a quote card, or sometimes you're editing the video after you recorded it. But this would be video editing. It could be before or after. It's not so much sequential anymore. It's more of what it means.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, that's a great question. And then I found a stage that sometimes you record something. The next one we're going to record it. And I didn't explain reviewing. Reviewing is when when you're working with someone, or you need to review it, or maybe AI will generate something as you get your automations in place, when you repurpose your transcripts into microblogs and emails, and they need a human in the loop. They need to go through your stamp of approval That's what the reviewing is for.
Okay.
So recording is pretty self-explanatory. That's when you're ready to record. Like this video that we have right now is currently under recording on my database, so I could keep track of it. This I created because I realized that, notice how it says uploading MP4, MP3, photos to Notion. So that's a phase that anytime that we have a file to upload, if it's a video, it's MP4. If it's an audio, like a podcast, it's MP3. If it's photos, like a quote card or something else, then that's going to be, we want to upload it to Notion. Notion becomes our hub to save everything. And something I do a little differently than most people. A lot of people recommend you upload to like Google Drive or OneDrive or Amazon S3. I find Notion works really awesome for uploading up to 5 gigabytes as long as you're on the paid plan, which makes this amazing. So I do host large videos on here. And then publishing, I stopped using describing. I haven't really found that to be necessary anymore. So let's change that to publishing. And then completed. Well, publishing and scheduling is pretty much the same thing that I've used it for. So we'll just change that to completed. And
that means like after it's scheduled and it's just like it's done.
Yeah, exactly. Completed pretty much means like there's nothing more to do on it. It's done. It's good. I don't really have anything else to fix. So instead
it's out there.
Yeah, just out there. Now post-publish editing means after you publish it, there might be something else that you want done for it, and you can. So that's something that where let's say you uploaded a video and a few months later you're like, hey, I want to make an improvement. That's when I would do that. And sometimes you abandon projects. You're like, hey, we're not doing this right now, but there's still valuable information you don't want to lose, and so you can put it on hold.
Nice.
So those are the statuses that we've got. Now your statuses are all set up. Cool beans, right?
Yeah.
So that's good to go. Now this process framework I often use to describe just a basic outline, like what you're doing here. You've already using it well. Just what are your teach points, core concepts you want to share. Another powerful property that we can create is, well, I'm going to just keep going here. You got process and framework, that is a text property. Problem, pain point is fine. I find that I don't use that as much. Don't use this as much.
So
go ahead.
These are worded like the proper way.
Yeah, they're worded.
For N8N?
I think for the most part, yeah.
Okay.
So
because N8N is very specific with wording, right?
Yeah, even the punctuation, capitalization of these, they need to be the same. Yeah. I find that I don't really use these. So what we're going to do with this, let's change this. We're going to simplify this. I'm going to get this replaced. So let's delete this. That is actually linked to a different workspace. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to create a new page. And this is a page, we're going to start with a database down below and an empty database. And we will create a new empty data source. And the title is, we're going to call this Content Formats Database. And the purpose of this is really you want to find a collection of different formats that you do. When you're creating content consistently, it's really good to have a different type of database, or like a different type of format, just keeping track of what it is. Like you have, for instance, live video will be a format you could do, or you can do coaching call recording. And yeah, you said I would probably put quote card as, because a quotable is what you put on a quote card. And so for this is basically where you're going to post these
How about like recorded video? Because sometimes my videos aren't live.
Yeah, you could just say recorded video. It's totally fine. So there's no right or wrong answer as far as what you put here. And as far as properties, I don't think that there's too many things you need to do. But I found that this is nice to have instead of like a database, using it kind of in place of, oops, this one's mine. Using it in place of a status property. It's kind of similar to a status property, but status properties can get really long. This one is, I created a database because I wanted to keep track. Originally, I had bought a $1,000 course and it was teaching me about how to turn my content into a career. And they gave me a list of like 70 different content formats that I could choose from. And I was thinking, wow, this is really helpful. And I was thinking about which one do I want to pick? Which do I want to express? You could even do like a Ask Me Anything format, and then once I realized the options, it made it easier to pick. Sometimes some could be like a slide presentation video. So there's just, think of the different formats that you can have, and you want to pick maybe one or two or three that you'll consistently do that you find the most easy. Some of them might be like a Bible reading video. That could be something you can do. But and then also you'll probably post some microblogs, and you could just think about those. But the reason I like this instead of a select property is because this could be very long. You could just make as many as you want to. And if you are keeping track of your calendar and you realize that it doesn't really have one that you want yet, you're welcome to use it. Or you're welcome to create a new one, create a new page for that type of thing. So this is a so what you want to do is you want to go to add a property, and we are going to select a files. Nope, we're going to select a relation property right here, relation property. And now we can actually link it to the content formats database that we just created, right? And instead of this, I'm probably gonna, whoa, I think it just disappeared. Somehow it didn't save. So I'm gonna go back to create a new one. I'm gonna go to relation, and I'm gonna click on content formats, and this is the name. So I'm gonna name this formats. And we already related it correctly. Do we want this a two-way? You can, if you create this two-way, it's going to create a property on your content database right here. So, I mean, you're just using it for yourself. I don't see why not. Probably doesn't hurt. And then you could say content page. And this limit, we do want to limit it to one page. This is kind of the difference between, you know how a select property only lets you choose one?
Yeah.
But a multi-select property allows you to select multiple options here. That's what this is saying. So right now it's on multi-select essentially. We want to do this to one page because one page represents one piece of content. One piece of content
which is in one format.
Exactly. It's not going to have multiple formats. So that's what we could use there. And actually this is called formats, plural. So then we will add this relation. And when we add this relation, we could automatically, we can see right here where they're from. So we could see link the page, and congratulations, you've got your video, you've got your page there. So that's really convenient. And then on here you see the content page that we just created because we made it a two-way sync. So if we remove it from here, it's going to remove it from there, which is cool. It's nice how these are synced. So after a while you're going to notice what are the pieces of content that you do the most, which ones do you create more than others, and you'll see the type of format and the content that you have, which is pretty convenient.
So that it'll just like create a list under there of all the
Of all the
content
pieces of content that you've
pages.
created of this type of format. Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then, so when we go back where we are, we created this, so let's drag this to the left. That's after here. And then the next one that's very important that you are going to use often is this video file. So, and I see you've already started using it a little bit. I'm not going to call it video
A little
file
bit.
property. I'm just going to call it video file. And what this is, for those who are watching, this is called a files and media property. This is what allows you to upload to Notion up to 5 gigabytes. I mean, that's a pretty good size video, especially if it's like, this can handle Zoom recordings. It can handle hour-long recordings. I mean, I even put 2.5 hour or 2 hour video recordings on here, and it works fine. So you can click and see, and when you open one up,
The ones that I have, I'm not sure if I did it properly because I just clicked one earlier and I was like, I don't know if
yeah,
it worked.
yeah. So it didn't look like you. Oh, this one, it looks
Oh,
fine.
there you go.
This is what it's supposed to do. So that was an audio for, but what this was labeled as is MP4. So somehow you have an audio there. But when you look on mine, we could see here, this is a video, which this is a coaching call that I do with my clients. And these are my high-paying clients. You can see that this is actually 2 hours and 36 minutes. So this is
That's
where,
cool. And this is on Notion basically.
yeah,
So it's like,
not just basically, it is. This is Notion.
so like what you do is you have it on your computer, right? And then from your computer you put the link there.
Right, so how I do that is, let's just take these videos for Simplify AI with Enoch. I actually have a video folder on my computer where I put some of these videos, and let's say I'm going to record, like I just recorded how to create a prompt database using Notion. So I would take this, I'm going to put it on yours if you don't mind, because I want to see what that looks
Yeah,
like.
don't mind.
So I'm going to take this file, and I could just literally, I don't click anything on Notion, I just drag and hover over there, and then I drop it, just like that. And then granted, it takes a while to upload, and you don't want to click off of it, you don't want to do anything for that, but I will give you a tip. You can right click and duplicate the tab that you're in, as long as you don't mess around with it and you let it load and do its thing, that's fine. I do recommend,
I realize that.
yeah, and I recommend using the same name as the file. If you notice, this says Simplify AI with Enoch, that's my naming convention with a hyphen, and then that's the exact name of what it is on Notion. So the naming convention, I'm going to go here so I don't mess with that. The naming convention here is the exact name of the file that is on your computer. So when it transfers, it helps you to organize your files locally on your computer and on Notion and on YouTube. That stays on your YouTube video forever. What was that?
So it's easy to find.
Yeah, it's easy to find, and that organization just helps you not to get confused. So that's what I found helpful. And this will appear here whenever this is done. It's at 7%. So we'll keep going, and it's going to keep loading. But yeah, this video file is really powerful. And you can have a photo file. Go ahead.
That's a long video that you're putting on there, so it might take a while. But shorter videos, I find like reels, they take a short time.
Oh yeah, reels are going to take a very short time. It won't be a problem. So let's say you wanted to create one for photos. So what you can do is add a property and go down to Files and Media, and then we're going to rename this to, I'm going to call this Photo 1 file. And the reason I'm calling it Photo 1 file, because there might be a time where you want to upload, like this is what I use for thumbnails, YouTube thumbnails. You could upload it here, and your automation can actually send it out. But maybe you have a carousel and you want to post multiple photos, or maybe you have a thumbnail for one, and trying to think another time I use 2 photos, but by naming it photo one, hook one, it helps, it like opens the door for scale. It just gives you a vision for growth. So, and still keeping things organized. That's my rationale. And then
Okay.
there you go. You can put photos on there. I don't upload them through here. Not saying you can't. There's nothing wrong with it. It just is extra steps.
I do that.
Yeah, I don't do that. I'd rather just drag and drop it from
You
here.
just drag and drop?
There's way less steps, and that works good
Okay.
for me.
I didn't know you could drag and drop like that.
Yeah, most people don't. People on my team, I gotta show them like, hey, you could just drag and drop it. There's like 4 less clicks that you have to do each time. So another important one is you want to have this text property right here that's called transcript copy. It worded exactly like that. As you can see, it just loaded here. We'll look at that in a moment. This transcript copy is where you're going to get your transcripts at. What becomes the foundation of all your content repurposing. You start with video, and then I could even walk you through a tutorial on how to take this video file that we just uploaded, send it to Assembly AI using N8N, and then it will like appear the transcript for your video right here just by literally clicking a button, which is so convenient. And from this transcript, you can turn it into emails, you can turn it into microblogs, quotables, you can extract the timestamps for your audio chapters on on YouTube for those video chapters, descriptions, all sorts of stuff you can do with this transcript copy property. This is like powerful. So you definitely, I would say for you, once we have this database, the next thing you want to do is set up your first automation of transcribing your videos. That is what you're going to use like more than anything else.
That makes sense.
So now let's
like
check
foundation.
this out. Yeah. We just uploaded this, so let's see how it works. And sure enough, it looks like it's working.
Have you ever noticed that?
This was the last video that I just recorded on how to set up your prompt database on my YouTube channel.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so this
Well, that's
thing,
neat.
so when you do it this way, it works well. I'm going to delete this so that you don't have to upload it, but upload it, you just drag and drop it on there, and it works pretty good. And these, you don't have to mess around with it. So like, yeah, I would
Yeah, I'll have to go through those videos and see if I can actually put them
Yeah.
out there properly.
that would be good. Same thing with the photos, just drag and drop it and you're good to go with the photos. So you've got the transcript copy. This is one that I recently added that I found it to be pretty helpful, and this is timestamp chapters. This is for an automation that will automatically create the descriptions for you on YouTube, which you're not really ready for yet, but I think you will be pretty soon. Limiting beliefs, I don't actually use that often, and we'll probably delete this.
You can delete it.
So, the last thing I think that we will do is, another thing that's very important is creating a relation to itself. So this is what we're going to call parent content. And Notion databases allow us to use the same database to relate to it. And this helps us to keep track of what files we're going to, like, where if you're going to repurpose and create, let's say from a 15-minute YouTube video, you turn it into a microblog or an email or clips or into reels, all of those, you want them to be two-way. So we're going to create another page on here, and we're going to call this child content. And those, you want them to be child content just like that. And that's the only things you need to change here. This limit should say no limit, and then you add the relation. And by adding the relation, you should have a parent and a child, which the child, it looks like by default, is hidden. So we're going to hit this little eyeball right here. So I opened up the 3 dots, show, hide, and then I looked at the very bottom is usually where they appear, and I click unhide, and now parents and child are right next to each other. So let's say we have this how to permanently be disgusted with unhealthy foods. I love the topic. This is great. That is a child's, and then so this becomes apparent. Luke 17, the parable of the faith the size of a mustard seed. Now they're connected. So that's how you.
And that was
Go ahead.
by doing what? Can you like repeat that one
That was
one more time, or like?
Yes, that was by clicking in here and selecting. It's easier when you. I mean, I'll show you a better way. A better example is. Let's move these towards the beginning so we can kind of see them better. So we're going to click and we can drag these. You could reorder these however you want to make it easier to access. And let's go to child content up here. And the automations will use this too. The automations will automatically create these child pages, which is convenient. Now that we have this child content, one of the best ways to view it, I find, is if we actually change the view and we create this where we go to settings and we look at more settings, and then there's something called sub items is what we just created. So open up sub items. We're going to turn this on. So we have parent and sub. So we're going to turn this on, and then we're going to go back to more settings. Nope, it's not there. We're going to go to sub items now is at the top once you turned it on, and there's different options. We could flatten or nested. I want to have them nested, and we want to share parents and sub items. We want to share both of them. And advanced settings will allow us to choose what property we're going to use. We're going to use the child content as the sub item. So I think this just created us a sub item and parent item, but we actually want they just created this as by default. Like they said that we use sub item as our default, but we want child content to be the default. This is very important if you want it to work properly. And there we go. That's how you set up these, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So let's say you have this parable of faith, right? Now what we did by creating these nested is now we got a toggle that allows us to create a sub item here. So when we create this sub item, it's now creating a new one that says microblog.
And it's under child content.
Yes, by default it becomes the child content of this, and we can create another one and we say quote card of this, and then this one we say email of that. So now we have 3 child pages for like repurposing, and like when we close it we don't see them, but this is black, this is dark. And then
I like that a lot.
Yeah, and then you see that there's 3 child. You see all your child content right here. It's very convenient. Or if you open this page, you could also scroll down and see all the child content right there as well. So you know the automations are working. This is so convenient.
That's neat.
Yeah. So we can actually select, and delete these because we don't need them right now, and then that will disappear again. So as far as automation goes, there is another that is going to be probably the most important, because without this, none of the automations will work. We're going to create one that's called a select property, and this is going to be what I call workflow status. Whenever you want to automate anything inside of Notion, I always title it workflow status because it allows me with all the automations to reference the same kind of structure, and it simplifies and it makes things more modular that you could use them. I really like that. So that's what we're going to do. And in this workflow status, I will pull up what we have. What are the main ones that matter most to you? We have done, and I would say let's create Notion to Transcript, and I will do YouTube to Transcript. Those are probably the two that will be your first automation, and even though you don't have the automation right now, that will it'll still help you with that. And then I have one that is to review that I think is pretty important, and then I have one created by I have it created by Pabbly because that's just what my automation is, even though I'm using Innate now. To review, done. Oh, and then this one's very important, automation in progress, so it doesn't trigger something else. So when these are done, you'll be able to see these and use them. I think another one will be is transcribed when it's complete, but basically what you do is you create, what I've done is I've created a new workflow status like Notion to Transcript, or Transcript to IG captions, Transcript to YouTube metadata, Transcript to thread posts, to 15x quotables. Like you can create automations as you go, but this is the first two that I would recommend that you create. That would be the easiest to start with. Now you're set with this. This will start the automations. And one last thing that will help you, I believe this is the last one that will help you and you'll be good to go, is we want to create a database for your platforms. Like in the beginning of this video, I talked about how there's a platform for each one, and so we're going to go in here and we're going to create a new page, and what we're going to call this is yes, we're going to call this platforms. Well, we're going to call this my platforms database. Oh, it's going to remove that, so I'm going to copy this. We're going to hit database, again hit empty. We're going to new data source in the top right corner, and then we have to title it again. I'm going to use an icon. Icon doesn't matter much. Oh, I like the razor. Maybe I'll keep that razor. I'm just playing with you. I'm going to make it a book. And that is something that we will call these, let's see, oh, so there's two of them.
It's gonna be another relation, huh?
Yeah, you're right. There's gonna be another relation. There's another database that I want to create too, that will. I think I changed it. So let me duplicate this. I want to go back. There we go. So we have the platform database, but I also want to create another one that is a brand database. Oh, but this, I need to click the database, hit empty, and hit new data source again. And we're going to call this brand database. So this way, if you're ever creating content for different brands, this will allow you to represent them fairly well. So one brand we have is Catharina Wolf, right? So you could always put your name there. If there's another brand that you have, like let's say, what was it? A Youthful Life, you can have another brand such as that. And in this brand, what I find helps is we want to create a relation, a two-way relation to the brand database. From the brand database to my platforms. And the good news is you only have to set this up once. Once it's set up, it's done forever. So we're going to two-way. There is one page limits, and on the brand database, let me see what this is called. I think I call this, yeah, just brand database. So if you leave it by default, it's going to name it brand database. So we'll just add this relation. And then it's done, just like that. And that will be, yeah, that will be set up. And then, let's see, what else is useful here? I think that's all you need with a brand database. So we're gonna exit out of that. And when you look in the this platform database, it should have them both. Maybe I need to refresh to see it. Yes, there you go. So sometimes it doesn't load, you need to refresh it. And there's a brand database right here. And so your platform, what you could do is essentially call them, you can call it like,
maybe like YouTube and Instagram?
Yeah, but you might find that you'll open up more than one YouTube in the future, so I would put like Catharina Wolf. I would put like Catharina Wolf. I do YouTube for short. You could put like a little YouTube icon here by going to upload, and you could paste like a link to an image. We're not going to do that right now, but you can do that. And so there's Catharina Wolf YouTube, and we're going to connect it to Catharina Wolf brand. And you definitely have Catharina Wolf Facebook, I would say profile. One day you might have a page, one day you might have a group. You can have those on there. And is there any other platform that you're going to be publishing on? Maybe emails, or do you have threads, or
Instagram? Probably.
Instagram, yes, that's right. So we'll put Catharina Wolf IG for Instagram, and we're just going to connect this. Oh, I think it's because I put one. So why would that, don't actually understand. I got this message when I tried to create Wolf, and it says it's going to unlink. So I'm going to go back to this. Or I could probably do it from here. Let me exit out of this.
Back to the brand and say like 2?
Yes,
Just 1?
you've got it. Edit the property. Well, it says no limit. Two-way relation is correct. I wonder why it would unlink it. That seems strange to me. Continue. Oh, didn't seem like it caused any problem. I don't know why this will unlink it from Catharina Wolf YouTube. No, it's not. It's not doing that. Oh yeah, it did. Just did right there. Let's see. So I'm not sure why it's doing that, but if we go to the brand database, we might be able to check this out and see, oh, I have it as one page. You're absolutely right, that was it. So we're gonna go no limit, and that will fix it. So now when we select Catharina Wolf, we have no error message. Cool, that was neat to know. I like that little trick. Is there any other database or any other like platform that you may publish on?
Not that I can think of, like just Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Okay, cool. So then that's something you could do. And then you've got those set. What you would do now is, now you would want to connect these. Oh, this is mine. I'm like, that's really long. Go back to your database, and on your database you can now create a relation property that you will relate to my platform's database, and I just call this platform. And this I hit that delete button, and it deleted the whole property. So we're going to go back to relation and click my platforms, and we're going to name it platform. and we're going to limit this to have one page because there's only one piece of content per page. You're not using the same page to go to multiple platforms. Those often have different links, and I wouldn't suggest it. Two-way relation, yes. And I would probably call this content page. And once you have this, you're set for the platform.
And then the other one was the brand.
Well, the brands can automatically be added, and this is where we will add what is called a roll-up. And right here, we're going to open a roll-up. Because it's connected, just like you said, brand, we can actually select which relation this is coming from, like a platform, where it comes from platform property. And on the platform property, you can choose which brand it came from. So right there, it just shows the original. So the moment that we select, like say, your Facebook profile, boom, Catharina's already there. So we don't have to change them both. It just once. Isn't that convenient?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have that. This will be very helpful for you to when you're scheduling through automation, making sure that everything works there, and I think that is what. I think that pretty much covers what you want to do.
And for this, you create a separate page for each one of them, like if you do Facebook or Instagram, like the same content, right?
Yeah, I would create a separate page for each one, which you could do in automation, which we won't go into now. That will, if you know the same type of format gets published consistently, like our reels, we posted on 5 places. We created an automation that when we hit completed, it automatically creates those pages and duplicates whatever information is relevant.
Okay, well, we don't have time for that right now, but yeah.
Right.
Sounds good.
Just saying you can. So another thing that I see that you don't have that is very important is we want to open this up and add a URL property. And I literally just call it URL. This is where we post a link to the Facebook post, the YouTube video, whatever link is related to that piece of content, that is where we post this. So we actually use this a lot. This helps you to save your work. It's kind of like you save it on the video file, but you also save it on the link here. So YouTube, when you put a YouTube link here, some of the automations will use it. You could go from this YouTube link. When you use automation to schedule, it'll automatically put the link here. When you use this link to transcribe, you can either use this video or you could use a URL link to get your transcriptions. And that's pretty much what you're going to do. So once you have these set up, it helps you to keep track of some of the stuff that you're doing. And then on this view, what you could do is you can actually go to settings, and then you can group, which group is so convenient, group, and then you can group them by your platform, by which platforms you're a part of. You can either hide the ones that are empty, or in your case, most of them are empty, so you would leave them there. And you can choose which ones you want to view. And you can hit this 3 dots, show aggregation, and that's going to show you how many pieces of content you have there and in each one. So you could say, like, rename this, you could say by platform, and that's convenient. You can also duplicate this and say by format. And this is usually my views are by format. I want to group them by format so I could see. So we're going to group by, select, and we could type formats or scroll and look for it. So if we type in form, it's at the top, and you could choose how you want to sort it. But these formats, just like that, what I would do to add another format, you could either look through the group and add it here like a recorded video, or you can go through your existing videos and go
Add a topic, add the format there, and then it'll show up, right?
Yeah, and another thing that's helpful with this is, you see how when we scroll you don't know what you're looking at? Notion has a cool feature that you can click this button and you can freeze up to a certain point, and now when you scroll, it stays. Yeah, so that's just like a quality of life, help you to scroll through and see what you're looking at. But when we look at formats, what I would do is I'd always, oh, must already be there. I would always try to keep these formats up to date. The formats are very important. A lot of the automations go by formats. So let's say this video is a recorded video. So now by selecting that, you've now added one to the recording video. Or, yeah, so that's how that works. Anything that you don't see, you can just add, not the new page. And then as you see, when you create a new page, it automatically has a format, which is convenient. So you add a new group if you want to look for other pieces of content that you have. And this will be a one-stop shop for all of your content's automation needs. Do you have any questions about what we've covered so far?
I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't have any questions. I asked my cousin as I went along, so no.
Good. Are you glad that you now have a content calendar that can set you up for automating your content at scale?
Yes, I am very, very much thankful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, glad we're able to go through this. I think it'll be helpful. So what you want to do is just start uploading some of your videos to here. That will be a good next step. And then I'll show you how you can take these videos and turn them into transcriptions, and then from transcriptions turning them into child content on all sorts of cool stuff.
Okay, that's good to know the next steps.
If you have any questions afterwards, feel free to ask, and I'll record some videos that can help walk you through. And for anyone watching online, if you would like help with automating your content, I'm going to be recording new videos that are showing you how you can actually take your content and automate thousands of it. Use AI powering your content machine so it's working for you, with you, even while you're sleeping, and serving people at scale. I'm going to be showing you some of the systems that I've built that have allowed our business and our team to be able to pump out literally thousands of pieces of content, quality content, valuable content that people actually care about. And this is just the beginning. So follow my journey, subscribe to our YouTube channel where there's more videos like this, and I'll be showing you in my video, in my channel, Simplify AI with Enoch. It's all about creating AI tutorials that are so simple your grandma can follow. And if you want to automate with Notion and N8N, or customize AI tools, or monetize your knowledge with AI, this is a channel to check out, because I already have several videos that can help you with that journey. In fact, you might be interested in the 24 biggest mistakes I made when I first started automating with Notion. I have that video on my channel. Go ahead and check it out. Subscribe for more videos like this. It's a pleasure to see each of you, and thank you for hanging in. I'm going to do more Build With Me videos in the future, so let me know in the comments what business solution you'd like to see next, and I'll share with you some of the systems that I've been able to build that has really helped simplify my life as well. Till next time, have a great day, and God bless.